They told you the speed of light is about speed, that light is fast, impossibly fast, the fastest thing there is. They told you nothing can catch it. They called it a universal speed limit, as if the cosmos drew a line and said, "You shall not pass." But here's what nobody tells you. The speed of light has nothing to do with speed. It has to do with time, with cause and effect, with the very fabric of what is real. And when you understand what it actually is, you realize it's not a limit at all. It's a wall. And that wall is closing in on us right now. Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity, published in 1905, established that nothing in the universe can travel faster than light in a vacuum. He defined the number 299,792,458 meters per second. That's the number they engraved on every physics textbook. But what Einstein actually discovered was far stranger. He discovered that the speed of light is not really a property of photons. It is the speed of causality itself, the maximum rate at which one event can influence another. Think about that. The universe has a built-in speed limit for cause and effect. And that limit is the same for every observer, everywhere, at all times. You've never thought of it that way. Neither did I. We were taught that light is fast, end of story. But the moment you realize that light's speed is actually the speed of information, the speed of connection, the speed of reality itself, the whole picture flips. It's not that the universe is big and light happens to be fast enough to cross it. It's that the universe is structured so that nothing can influence anything else faster than a certain pace. And on the scale of the cosmos, that pace is agonizingly slow. Here's where it gets stranger. The speed of light is not measured, it's defined. In 1983, the international committee that governs the meter fixed the speed of light at exactly 299,792,458 meters per second. They didn't measure it more precisely. They redefined the meter itself so that light's speed became the constant and distance became the thing derived from it. From that moment on, the speed of light was no longer a measurement. It became a rule written into the definition of distance. If you ever wondered why the speed of light is that specific number, there is no deeper reason. It's simply the number we chose to lock in. But the number is not the point. The point is what that number does to everything else. When you approach that speed, time slows down. Space contracts. The energy required to keep accelerating climbs toward infinity. These are not metaphors. Einstein's equations show that to push any object with mass all the way to the speed of light would take infinite energy. That's not a speed limit the way a highway has a speed limit. A highway limit can be broken if you're willing to pay the fine. This one cannot be broken. It is not a rule imposed from outside. It is the intrinsic structure of space-time itself. And that's the first crack in the story they told you. They said light speed is the fastest thing. They didn't say light speed is the only way causality works. If you try to go faster, you don't just break a rule. You break the order of time. You break the connection between cause and effect. You would arrive before you left. You would watch your own departure from the destination. That is why particles that travel faster than light are considered impossible. Not because they're hard to find, but because they would let the future rewrite the past. The universe has a built-in lock on its own timeline. The speed of light is not a limit on travel. It is what keeps events in order. It is what stops the past from being changed. Now comes the twist that changes everything. The speed of light limits motion through space. How fast something can move from one place to another. But space itself is not bound by that limit. General relativity allows space to expand at any rate. And it does. Galaxies beyond roughly 14 billion light-years from Earth are receding from us faster than the speed of light. Not because they are moving through space that fast. Because the space between us is stretching. They are being carried away by the expansion of the universe itself. And that expansion has no speed limit at all. This is where the prison becomes real. You are sitting in a room whose walls are made of light, made of light's own limit. You can move freely inside the room. You can send signals, receive information, watch distant stars. But the walls are moving. They are receding, and they are accelerating outward, driven by dark energy. Here is the part that should stop you cold. Because those walls are built from the speed as causality itself. You can never reach them. The harder you try to cross the room, the faster the walls retreat. The room is expanding, and you are the one shrinking inside it. Let me give you the numbers. Only about 6% of the observable universe is still reachable. 94% of everything we can see is already beyond our cosmic horizon. Gone. That light left those galaxies billions of years ago. But the galaxies themselves are now so far away that no signal we send will ever arrive. Not in 1 trillion years, not in 1 quadrillion. The connection is already severed. And that 6% is shrinking every second. Dark energy accounts for about 68% of the total energy of the universe. It is the dominant force in existence. And its only job is to push the walls further out, faster and faster. The cell is not just closed, it is closing. Sit with that. The universe is not a vast playground waiting to be explored. It is a cell whose walls move outward at the exact speed you can never catch. You are confined to a bubble of space-time defined by nothing more than how long light has had to travel since the beginning. Everything outside that bubble may as well not exist, because it can never touch you and you can never touch it. And here is the personal part. You are inside this cell right now. Every photon that enters your eye is a ghost from the past. The sunlight warming your face left the sun 8 minutes ago. The light from the nearest star left over 4 years ago. The light from the Andromeda galaxy left 2.5 million years ago, before your species had a name. That light crossed the void, through expanding space to land on your retina. And the instant it arrived, the galaxy that sent it was already further away than the image suggests. You are not seeing where things are. You are seeing where they were. You have never seen the present. You never will. Every picture your brain builds of the universe is a reconstruction of the past. And that past is receding from you at an accelerating rate. The universe is not slowly revealing itself to you. It is slowly hiding. But not everything is fleeing. Look at Andromeda again. That same 2.5 million year old light. Andromeda is one of the few things in the entire cosmos that is not running away from us. It is falling toward us. In about 4 billion years, the Andromeda galaxy and our Milky Way will collide, tear through each other, and slowly merge into a single vast galaxy. Our whole local group of galaxies is bound together this way, held by gravity, destined to become one. That is the size of the world we get to keep. Everything else, every other galaxy in the observable universe, hundreds of billions of them, is being carried away by the expansion, further every second, and will never come back. In the deep future, our merged galaxy will sit alone in an empty sea. We are not the center of a vast cosmic community. We are becoming an island, and the ocean around us is widening faster than any ship of light could ever cross it. Now watch where this ends. The walls are accelerating outward, and because they are, the reachable universe keeps getting smaller. Billions of years from now, the expansion will have carried every distant galaxy past the horizon, one by one. The night sky will empty out. And the civilizations alive then will look up and see nothing but their own island galaxy, alone in a black and silent void. they will have no way to know the universe was ever full. No evidence of the Big Bang, no trace of the trillions of galaxies that once blazed across the sky. The proof will have crossed the wall, traveling away at a speed light can never catch. They will be born inside a prison that looks to them like the entire universe, and they will never even know there was a wall. That is the trajectory we are on. Right now, at this moment, dark energy is dragging the walls outward. The fraction of the cosmos we can ever reach is falling. 6% becomes 5, becomes 4, becomes 3. One day it reaches 0. The cell seals completely, and no one will be left who knows it ever had a door. Now hold that image in your mind. A photon that left a quasar 12 billion years ago when the universe was young and violent and bright. It set out across space before the Earth existed, before the sun existed. It traveled while galaxies were born and died, while stars forged the atoms that would one day become your body, while dark energy quietly began pulling the walls apart. For 12 billion years, it fell through the dark, and then tonight, it ends its journey on the back of your eye. Think about what that means. That photon crossed nearly the entire visible universe to reach you. And at the moment it arrived, the quasar that made it was already gone, already flung so far beyond the horizon that you could never answer it. The light is a message from a world that no longer exists. You are its final destination. You are the last address for a dead star's last words. And there are countless more of these messages still crossing the void right now, carrying news from places that will never know it was received. So is there any way out? Some physicists have wondered. If wormholes exist, they might connect two distant points without crossing the space in between. A tunnel through the wall instead of a race against it. If something like a warp drive were possible, it might contract space in front of a ship and expand it behind, letting the ship ride a bubble of space-time while never breaking the local speed of light. On paper, in the mathematics, these ideas survive. But they demand energies and exotic conditions so far beyond anything we can build that they may as well be prayers. The door, if it exists at all, is drawn only in equations. It is locked, and we do not have the key. Whether that key can ever be found, whether the wall is truly solid or only looks that way from the inside, is a question for another night. But before that door, let this one settle. When you look up tonight, you will see the same stars you have always seen. But now you know that every one of them is a ghost. Everyone is already further away than your eye believes. Everyone is sending you a message from a past that will never catch up to the present. You are looking at a gallery of departed moments, light from worlds already slipping out of reach. If you want to keep looking through the window before it closes, subscribe, and let's keep watching the walls together while there is still something to see. So think one last time about the comforting story they told you. The speed of light as the champion of the cosmos, the fastest thing there is. It was never a finish line. It was the bar across the window. It does not define how far you can go. It defines how small your world is forced to remain. And it is getting smaller as you breathe. The speed of light is not a limit. A limit is a line you are forbidden to cross. This is a wall you cannot cross. And it is closing in around us, one silent galaxy at a time. We were never handed the keys to the universe. We were handed the dimensions of our cell and told it was the sky.